Oh, we're live. Okay, let's see. Let me get to the correct screen. Got it. Welcome to the next episode, the second episode of A Glimpse of the Moon. A look at Warrior One, Virabhadrasana, the viniyoga way, which is a little different because of our primary, secondary, and tertiary intentions that we do within the whole viniyoga way. Also looking at common release valves. So release valves are things you do because you're compensating for there's an injury, your lack of mobility somewhere, you just haven't learned, you're tight somewhere, there's an imbalance. Release valves, we all have them. Sometimes they serve a purpose. Sometimes they used to serve a purpose. That maybe you use them to make it easier versus really getting the primary intention. So we can shift around what we want to get out of all the asanas. And that's where these intentions come. So let's look at first, what is Warrior One? And I just realized I don't have my phone here with me. So if any of you are on Facebook, I'll have to catch you at the end. And if you have questions, please comment. If I don't get them in video, I'll get them in later. All right, so the viniyoga way of doing Warrior One is hips are square. A lot of times more classically trained, you'll see those hips skewed. So hips square because one of the intentions is extension of the spine. So extension of the spine is the pushing forward of the breastbone long through the low back here, okay? So Warrior One, we're gonna do various arms. You wanna do it without the arms, that's what we're looking at. So primary intention, most of the time when I teach, primary intention of Warrior One is spinal extension. So again, I am extending the spine. So this is just doing it with the legs still. So you can see this is what I'm trying to do. So I'm trying to stay out of the low back doing the work. A lot of times in-person classes, you'll see people drop their low backs. Again, that is lack of mobility, or this is where they have the mobility, so that they're going to put that there to be successful. Because most people, their upper back, the thoracic spine, is where there's the lack of flexibility. So that's what, again, primary intention. I'm going into extending that upper back. All right. So primary intention can be spine. Okay, so when it is spine, you will see that the shoulders are in front of the hips and the breastbone is pushing forward. So it's very active through this upper back. Okay, so watch the head. Head is also a release valve. So people that are stuck through the spine area, they're going to lift the chin and look, oh, look, I got it because I see up here now versus down here. So being mindful of where is your neck as you're doing this. So yes, it is going to go into thoracic extension, you know, a little bit of lumbar extension, and then slight neck extension, cervical extension. Okay. I see a lot of classes where you like the arms are up and people are looking straight up. That is cervical hyperextension, not something you want to do. And also, what's happening at their spine? It tends to be rigid. So primary intention is spine, thoracic extension. So hips stay square. Again, if I'm tight, if I open up here, I get more extension, but it's not really extension. So again, here's from the front. So extension of the spine. If I let my hips turn, I can get more extension, but now I'm also getting rotation. And is that really what I want? Okay, so it goes back to what's your intention? Lots of different ways to do this asana and change the effect. So you can also change the effect of Warrior One by putting the primary intention at the hips. So now maybe the heels straight back. This is the way I normally teach it. So you're getting, again, a little bit of a drop here, but what if I add a little bit more of a tuck under as well as the push forward, the rest one. Okay, so now you'll notice that my shoulders are a little bit more over my hips versus here. Okay, so now I'm starting to open up the front of the hips more. Again, if I have the hips skewed, I'm going to get inner thigh more than hip flexors. And typically it's the hip flexors that we really want to isolate. So what if from here, you kept the hips square but turned the leg? So now, again, working this, press forward, extend the thoracic. That feels different. What happens if you just do the smallest of turnouts at the hip, or sorry, at the hip, so the heel goes out, the toes go in, just a smidge, very, very small. It's gonna feel weird, but again, it shifts it a little bit more to the outside. So again, I can make this a very hip-oriented asana. I could put it into the calves and into the feet. Whoa, without falling over. So that maybe I'm really focusing on the press through of the heel as I do spinal extension. Okay, so inhale, open, exhale. So the arms don't always have to be big. Sometimes if I'm shifting the emphasis, the arms come down, the arms come easy. Okay. Another place you can put the intention is neck and shoulders. So again, classical warrior one, arms would go straight up. But what happens to your neck and shoulder when the arms go straight up? Okay, a lot of times they shrug. Okay, so what happens if you take the arms out a little bit? Okay, so now I'm putting myself in a position where the shoulder blade does the movement and my neck and shoulders stay relaxed. What happens if I bend the elbows? So I come up a little bit more outward as opposed to truly up. Or if the arms are out, get more into the chest. Again, what do you need? These positions all have a different effect across the neck and shoulders. We can also do one arm, so going up, and I can add what we call an arm pull and a head rotation. Okay, so as I'm pulling, the shoulder blade goes back, the elbow goes back. Right? I'm getting a stretch here through the chest, I'm getting upper back to work, and then I'm opening up the neck. Okay, you could do that head rotation toward. You can move the head in rotation. Lots of different ways to do it. So you will see that in my classes, I mix it up. The arms, sometimes the arms just stay out of it. Sometimes the emphasis really is on hips. For me, I do a lot of emphasis in the spine because, excuse me, most people have a stiff spine. This is where they really need attention. Once you get the spine to work, everything else follows. Okay? Okay, so it takes practice, it takes time. All right, so we mentioned release valves. Again, shoulders toward the ears, head forward, head up. It should just be a small extension here. Small lift of the nose. Lift the nose a 1/4 inch. Okay, through the back. Again, they're going to release valve at the hips. I think I should do another stance. Release valve at the hips. Drink. Okay. Release valve tuck under. They may slouch forward. Okay. So again, lots of ways that you can get out of the benefit out of the asana, the posture, and lots of ways to not get the benefit. So this is why it's really nice to have in-person classes. I also do privates online if we need to. And I can really see what you're doing, and therefore we can start working on those release valves. All right, so we could do all 3 layers on primary, secondary, and tertiary intentions in one asana. Sometimes it gets a little complicated, but it depends on the level of you and my clients and my students. So I hope this gave you a little bit more of a glimpse into the moon. Let me see if I can get back to Facebook. See if there are any questions. There we go. I don't see any. All right, so feel free to leave me some questions, ask. I will come back to them. And let me know that you watch this. I'd love to hear from you what you think of these. Again, they're different every week, every Tuesday at 2:30. 10-15 minutes long, that's all. Just giving you a little bit more insight into my brain and all this information up here.
All right. So thank you for being here today. I appreciate you, and I will see you soon. Bye.